Hello, everyone. Hello. So I think I'm live now. So I'm just setting up my phone quickly so we can start. So I can see any comments. Hey. Hello, everyone. And so we're here for the conclusion session of today. It was a very full day for the first day. We had loads of interesting sessions that I took a lot from. If you want to let me know as well what you took out from these sessions, please feel free to comment to write me in the comments what you took out from all of this. I'm going to share as well, so to summarize a bit what we've seen and to share as well what I took out from this. Hopefully, it's going to help you as well if you're catching up to see which session you would be interested in to watch. Because I realize that many of you were probably working. It's Friday, so many people work. So if you're catching up after, you can just watch this and then see what you would prioritize. So we started today with Catherine Nelson to talk about the science of reading and language acquisition. And one part that I liked during our discussion was her explanation of the kind of resources we can look for when our children or students are learning to read. So I guess teachers, there are lots of teachers who are already trained for specialists, but for us parents, it might be more difficult to find the right resource. So that was very helpful. And so, for example, she shared that when the book is too predictable, so the children can just guess from looking at the image, it's not very helpful. So, for example, if it's a book about going to the zoo, and on each page it's written, today I went to the zoo and I saw A, and then for the animal, we just need to look at the picture. The child is going to remember this phrase and then just look at the picture to say the words. So they won't be really learning to decode, but just to predict things. So it won't be helpful to consolidate any skill or learning skills. And so, for example, what would be more appropriate is a book where um, there is more for them to discover, to decode, to understand the picture or the story. So when we talked about this, it reminded me of one book that I tried to find in my son's library, but I would probably gave it away already. It was a book about the zoo. I think the story was we received a box from a zoo with an animal, a pet inside. And the text was telling us what the pet was or what the shape was, etc. I can't really remember. But then we could discover it when we lift the flap to see the animal. So we had to decode the text to be able to see it. Another book I remember that my sons were using in school, so the teachers were using it. It was a book where the story, so the text was written on one page, but you had to turn the page to actually see what was written before. So if it was, for example, I went to the zoo and saw a monkey, instead of having the monkey on the same page, you had to read and then turn the page to discover it. So yeah, that kind of books are more helpful to encourage children to decode. And I guess it's the same for flashcards. We see many times flashcards where we have the picture and then the drawing, the word below. If our children know how to say this word, they don't need to read, they can just say the word. So they won't be decoding. So if you're getting flashcards to see if your child can read properly, that wouldn't be the best flashcards to go for, but maybe separate. So in my book here, I talk about this. So it's a book that explains to parents how they can teach their children to read and write in their home languages. And I've made a section on this. Let me find it. Yeah. So you can see on this page, maybe it's a bit blurry, but when you have a flashcard with the picture and the word on it, you can do like 3 activities. But if you have 2 different cards, you can play a lot more activities. So in this book, you have loads of activities So if you're interested, you can have a look. It's the Parents Guide to Raising Multiliterate Children. You have it on my website where you can download the first chapter and 5 or 6 activities. So if you're curious, feel free to go and check it out. Then we spoke with Hannah King, who who specializes in multilingual libraries. So she built one. She's working with different schools to help them with that. And one thing that I regret not asking during the interview, but we talked about afterwards, is what she's doing now with this library that she has of 261 books in 62 languages. Because before it was in different in a school, I believe, or several schools, but now it's not used as such. It's in a place so schools can come and visit. But she said that she can also work with different schools and maybe lend them some of the books so that they can see the impact it has on their students. And then also because what the problem that we have with multilingual libraries is the cost. And to get some money from the local council or something, sometimes we need to, or I guess often, we need to prove that uh, there is a real demand and it's going to have an impact, and then they will provide the money. So if you want to test it out with her library, she said you're welcome to contact her. You have her uh, Twitter or X, sorry, it's called X account on the below her video, so in the description, so you can get in touch with her. After that, we had a session with Dr. Nail Correa Ibrahim, who came back because last year she was with us to talk about picture books. So if you're interested in picture books, I invite you to have a look at last year's event. And today we talked about literacy and identity and how literacy can have an impact on identity. And we talked mainly about what people outside their view on the language the child is reading in or that they're speaking, if they can read or not. But the outside, what people see from outside, and if their reaction is more positive or negative. And we talked about the importance of school in nurturing that kind of environment. And so we know that there are many schools who that don't really support multilingualism, although they are maybe okay with it. They don't really do anything to encourage or to value multilingualism. So we talked about a few resources that you can use that I'm going to put a little bit later today under the in the description of her video. So you have some material resources to use if you're a parent and you want to talk to your child's school, or even if you're a teacher and you want to explain how important it is, and also maybe to dismiss some of the myths that go around multilingualism. Then we had another very interesting session. It was with Dr. Jean-Marc Deval, and we talked about the importance of emotions in the learning process. So we talked mainly about how it happens in schools because we're both teachers, and his research was based on teachers and schools. But we also talked about how it can look like at home. And one thing that I really want to stress that Dr. Deval mentioned was the habit of reading with our children every day. It's a very easy way to pass on the language, but also to familiarize our children with the literacy and to get them curious about it. So if you want to learn more about what's important to nurture a positive emotion for our children in the learning process. So whether it's literacy or something else, I invite you to check out this session. And also tomorrow, so it came up with Dr. Jean-Marc Deval and Dr. Nair Correa Ibrahim. We talked about the difficulty for teachers to teach their own children. So I'm going to do a session tomorrow on this. It will be at 2 o'clock UK time. So if you're a teacher and you're not sure how to teach your child or you find it difficult, I invite you to join in. And also if you're a parent who wants to teach at home, I'm going to explain like how not to change, to swap your parents' hat for the teacher's hat, because that doesn't really work. Yeah, so we're going to talk about that. But also, our last session was about Arabic and Arabic literacy, and we talked about it with Dr. Riham Shendi, who is also an author and writing in Egyptian Arabic. So we talked about the value of teaching literacy through a language that our children already speak rather than a foreign language, because I say foreign language because Arabic is a diglossic language, so the written language and the spoken language are quite different. So using the child's language to teach them to help them learn to read and write, and also to think us as parents why we are teaching one or the other version. Is it because we want them to master, for example, just to make jokes and speak with the family, or is it because we hope they are going to be able to work in using that language? But we talked also about the fact that we can get them to a certain level where they can read quite fluently and maybe write as well, and then they can choose if they want to go further. So loads to unpack. If you're interested, so I invite you to catch up on these. And tomorrow we have a lot that's planned as well. And tomorrow everyone has yeah, giveaways. So again, if you're interested in entering the giveaway and you want to win some of the prizes, I invite you to check this morning's introductory session where I explained how to enter the giveaway. And in the program that's linked here as well in every video, you will be able to see what are the giveaways. So thank you very much again for today for following this event. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you haven't if you haven't joined us live today, I hope you'll be catching up on these sessions. And I see you tomorrow. Bye everyone. Good night and good afternoon, depending on where you are. Bye.